Alright, so if you've had problems with your first gen Chevy Cruze leaking coolant all the time in different places, or another GM vehicle that has a 1.4 turbo liter engine, I'm going to show you how you can make those coolant leaks stop happening by putting on a colder thermostat. But first, let me show you the old thermostat. I have 71,500 miles on this vehicle now, and right here you can see where it broke, that plastic, and also the gasket broke here, so it was leaking in two places from the thermostat housing here. And this is a 2012 Cruze LT, and so I have two new thermostats here. The reason I have two is because, well, that one was broken, so I have to replace that one already. I recommend the Dorman brand here, and the part number is 902808. And the Dorman brand is supposed to have some reinforced plastic. It's supposed to be stronger than the original one from the factory. And the only thing is, it's still going to come with a 221 degree thermostat. So what you want to do is get a 902 2080 thermostat, which is made for a 2011 to 2015 Chevy Volt, or I believe 2014 to 2016 Cadillac ELR. And you can see it looks a little bit different on the outside, and it won't fit the 1.4 turbo. It fits a 1.4 non-turbo GM engine, but the thermostat will fit in this housing, and the thermostat is much colder at 176 degrees. Let's see. So I want to show you this spring here. It's wider on this side and narrower on this side. So the narrow side goes over to this, and the wider side lines up down there. You can see it all assembled together. Whoops. On the old one, is how it looks like when it's all together. Alright, so after you take that off, I decided to use a pair of channel locks to take it off. I mean, if you want to use your hands and fingers, you'd have to be pretty strong because it has some tension and pressure on it, but you might find another tool that works better. That's what I use. But anyways, after you get that off, then this cage will come off. You can see the cage off here. And then after that, this you just pull straight out. I managed to pull it out with my fingers. You might use a pair of pliers if you can't do it with your fingers. Just make sure you don't twist it. If you twist it, you're going to break it. Let me take it out so I can show you inside. Okay, see down in there? This only fits in there one way. So that's why I don't want to twist it. If you twist it, you're going to break off that little tip in there. And also, another thing I want to show you, when you put this cage on, I'm not sure if it's important or not, but that little dot looking thing on the top is lined up where the sensor plugs in there, where the wiring harness goes. So yeah, all you have to do is switch this one into this housing and then put that on your car. And you only need to buy this thermostat if yours is broken. Mine just happens to be broken, so I'm doing this at the same time. Another thing is, now that your car is running colder, you no longer need to have a 20 psi radiator cap. I got a 15 psi T46 Motorrad brand cap, which fits several different GM vehicles. It fits a lot of them, and it'll fit on here as well. So now once you do all that, your car is going to run around 180, 185 degrees is what I read. And then the whole system is only going to be under 15 psi pressure instead of 20. So now you're way less likely to get all these plastic parts to crack and break and leak. I mean, I've already replaced this, it's kind of hard to see, but this manifold down here, I think it's called like a water outlet manifold. I've replaced this around here, and this hose, the reservoir. Let's see, what else did I replace? I'm probably forgetting a thing or two, but I know all the time this thing gets leaks and I'm tired of it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Another benefit to making it run cooler is if you want to reprogram the ECU. I believe this is the ECU here, or the PCM, that computer that runs the car. If you're going to tune this car to get more power out of it and run more boost pressure, running the coolant colder means you can get more performance out of it if you're going to retune it. So there's that benefit as well. For me, I just want it to be more reliable and last longer. Another benefit running the coolant colder is down in this area is your oil cooler, which is cooled down by the coolant. So when the engine coolant is colder, your motor oil is also going to be colder. The oil and the coolant both run through the turbo, so it means your turbo is also going to be colder, which means it'll last longer before it breaks. Oh, another thing I want to mention too, as a side note here, is this little turbo oil feed line is starting to leak on my car at 71,500 miles. I'm going to replace that soon with the revised version that has 2 O-rings in here instead of 1, and it has a heat shield on this tube. So if your car only has, like, I don't know, if it has 50,000 miles or more, I would go ahead and replace that before you even notice it leaking. Unless you have the new revised version, which you'll know by if it has a heat shield on it, you'll know that's a new version. But this 2012 didn't come with that, and it's leaking. So I just thought I'd mention that. If you don't know how to take apart the thermostat, you can look that up online. I mean, I already did it, and it's just 3 bolts, these 3 bolts here. And it goes on here. And first you want to move the air intake out of the way. And then I did some extra stuff. You don't have to do this. I just wanted a lot of room to work with, but I took off this line here and unplugged a bunch of sensors. But I mean, it's pretty simple. If you don't know how to do it, just look up a video online, like I said, how to remove the thermostat. Alright, I'll post some updates later on what temperatures this car runs after it's all done. Should be in the 180s instead of the 220s now.